welcome to Professor Outdoors. It is Thanksgiving week. Got a little vacation from work and it's about 55 degrees today. So would love to get out and do some kind of crazy adventure, but my back is hurting. It's been a rough fall for me. So just gonna fish the pond here behind the house. It seems like a really nice chill thing to do. Gonna show you the gear that I'm using today. If you haven't watched the channel in the past, I'm using this Tenkara rod. This folds out to about 12 feet. It's a fixed line. From the tip, there is this kind of orange monofilament. I tie that to a tippet ring and then tip it and a fly. Doing something a little different today. I'm using one of these little football float strike indicator things. I've usually used the kind that stick on. They're kind of lower profile, good for nymphing, but you can adjust them very easily once you get on, and then you have to cut your line usually after you're done with it, so not great. So I'm going to try this one. This can be moved up or down and adjusted. And for the fly today, I'm trying a Blob fly. This is, it's hard to get it to focus here. This is tied with a special ice chenille, and I did kind of a bivisible pattern. So red in the front and a chartreuse in the back. It's on a little 1/128 ounce jig head. Tried these up at Spring Branch. Did not have a lot of luck up there, which is crazy because I thought the rainbow trout would like them. I have a whole bunch of them that I've tied here. You can see kind of toward the middle of the other side that my hand is not on. And, well, I guess I could just point. It's right there. Okay, so some of these are pink, some are chartreuse, some are yellow. There's kind of a whole mix of different blob flies there. This is something that I read about from England. I'm not sure what, if anything, they represent, other than possibly an egg fly. But the ice chenille is supposed to have a really cool, like, pulsing effect in the water. I don't know if it does or not. I've done pretty well on bluegills and crappie with these. Not so much on the trout, but we're fishing bluegill and crappie today, so let's see what we can find out. So I've got this kind of bivisible fly on the 1/128 ounce jig head. Gonna put it about a 1.5 foot below the float. And we'll fish around the pond and see what we can catch. Also going on, Lenka the elk hound is chewing on a beef cheek over here, so she's having fun. And Pooky the fishing cat is with me. You might have just seen his tail over there. So it's a nice community day around the pond. Lots of animals. Let's see if the fish are still biting in late November. Thanks for joining me today on this laid-back adventure. Wild elk hound approaches. Okay, brought the camera over to this side of the pond because I just had a really good bite on the blob fly over here on this side. Behind me, the neighbors have set some kind of very large fire on the other side of my pasture. One of the things about living in the country is that people act crazy. So I just want a little proof that I was the one setting that fire, because I'm a little afraid it's going to get into our pasture. Till then, we fish. Awesome. Whoop. Sunfish on the fly. And he hopped off. Noticed a couple things. One is that the 1/128 jig head is a little too heavy for that little football, so I either need to go to like a tungsten bead jig or maybe a little larger football. Two, they're biting right next to shore and they actually want a fair amount of movement, but they're shy biting. So it's kind of a weird mix. I thought being late in the year, they would be very kind of like slow finesse fishing. They actually want movement, but I've missed so many strikes, which I rarely do with the Tenkara. That's one of my favorite things about the Tenkara is I don't miss strikes, at least not often. So I'm gonna try the shallow end of the pond. Should be warmer. It's been heating up all day from the sun, really nice. And see if I can improve my hook set ratio. There's one. Ah, look at this guy. Looks like a nice sunfish. Oh man, it's getting me into those logs. Better get him over here. Ta-da! A sunfish in the sun. Look at this chunky boy. Well, right after that last fish, I got a giant tippet wind knot, so that seemed like a good time to pack it in. Had a good time out here today. Caught some fish, played with Lenka. Yeah, I think it's time to go in and play with the rest of the dogs. Sometimes it's kind of a sign there to go in and enjoy. There's Lenka running around behind me. So thank you guys for tuning in to Professor Outdoors. Hope you enjoyed this Tenkara fishing tutorial, and we'll see you on the streams.